My name is Soraya. I'm a COI Scholars alumni from 2019. Today I'm here to speak up about Afghanistan and what is going on in Afghanistan. Well, there's a lot to be covered, but for the moment I'm focusing on my concerns for the Afghan women, and specifically for Afghan women who are currently in Afghanistan. After I left Afghanistan, in a matter of 2 months, my home city fell down in the hands of Taliban, and eventually all of Afghanistan fell down to the hands of Taliban. As yesterday was the last day of the withdrawal of the U.S. forces from Afghanistan, which marks their end of mission from 20 after 20 years of presence in Afghanistan. I have to say that this by no means mean any sort of completion or success for the United States, because they have literally not defended the rights of Afghan women, and once again Afghan women are becoming the subject of war and are being silenced to the extent that we could never imagine in the year of 2021. The Afghan women are being told to return back to their home. They are not allowed in the schools and universities, and are not able to practice their work and profession. The Taliban has put out a statement for Afghan women stating that they should return home and that their jobs will be replaced by men. In some of the other provinces, they have said that women can go to school, but until 6th grade, and further than that, women are not allowed to study. Like, as a whole education standpoint, this becomes a problem, because we, the Afghan women and the Afghan society, we have worked for everything for the last 20 years, building schools, advancing healthcare system, building infrastructure, and things like that, or the development in the general terms. But everything is basically going back to zero. And some of these developments that I'm talking about takes years to take form, to be achieved. For instance, like, I remember like getting out on the streets in Kabul and speaking up for women and trying to promote women's rights. And it was a very slow process, let alone its own difficulties, its own trying to convince different parts of society to respect women, to respect women's rights and things like that. So it has been 20 years of hard work from Afghan people that is being wiped out today. Through this platform, whoever is hearing me, from the international community to international organizations, and whoever thinks that the Taliban has changed, or that it is the responsibility of Afghan people themselves, I have to say that Afghan people, they have been in war for the 4 decades, and for the last 20 years, me and my generation, we have fought terrorism with the blood of our soldiers, with constantly losing family members, friends, and our schools were attacked, but we kept on going. We had the fight, and today we simply cannot take it anymore. I'm not asking for help from anybody or any institution. I am asking for solidarity, because as an Afghan, losing my country, it breaks my heart, it shatters my heart, and that in itself needs a lot of healing, that in itself needs a lot of digestion, to simply grasp that this is happening. And we are being raised in a lot of terms. We are being erased by like in terms of our culture, in terms of our inheritance, in terms of our identity, and the youngest, most professional, most educated generation of Afghanistan are fleeing the country. There is a lot of erasing of memory that is happening at this current moment, which brings a lot of pain. It's not easy to simply carry this as an Afghan, as a citizen, as a human. So I'm not, like asking anybody to help, but rather I'm asking all the institutions and all the government agencies for solidarity, to welcome Afghan refugees, to provide whatever social services to whatever extent they can, and specifically to Afghan women, because we don't deserve this, and no human on this planet deserve to have worked for so many years and in a blink of an eye lose everything. With the Taliban regime taking over Afghanistan, what's scary is that they are practicing Sharia, and Sharia is I don't even want to call it discipline or law, because that gives them another level of legitimacy. However, it's a practice that is driven by a bunch of men sitting together and deciding what Islam means and what religion means to them. And Sharia, a lot of people connected with Islam, but I have to say that it is inspired by Islam, but it's the interpretation of a group of men who are misogynist and who are uncivilized, and who have been trained mostly in Pakistan and funded by Saudis or United States to carry their interest in this whole politics of proxy war. So Sharia has become political, unfortunately, for the Taliban, and the people who are paying the price are first Afghan women, and then Afghan generation and Afghan people. In Sharia, women's rights is limited to a great extent. They cannot walk alone. They cannot seek education. Music is banned, and basically each woman is owned by a man, and most importantly have zero freedom of decision, of work, and things like that. So, and a lot of people think that Taliban has changed. This is Taliban 2.0, and this is a whole another version of them. But from what's happening right now on the ground, this is not true. They have beaten women for not following their dress code. They have killed several women. In Jalalabad, they have killed a woman simply for claiming that she had bad cooking. Small things like that, but that can trigger them in the so-called punishing women and harassing women. Right now, the Taliban are against people who have worked with foreign troops and foreign organizations, as the likes of the United States and other countries, and they are like headhunting people who have worked for these organizations. And aside from that, they're looking for journalists, human rights activists, and women who have been speaking up. And people like that, they are going door to door and looking for these people and arresting them, and nobody knows what happens to them. What's scary at this stage is that there is a much less presence of journalists in Afghanistan, and whoever continues to stay in Afghanistan are a selective group of journalists, as the likes of the journalists working for Al Jazeera, for CNN, which already have built an agreement with the Taliban on the way that they are going to report. So not a lot of voices are going to be heard from Afghanistan. And this is worrying, because we it is likely that in the matter of couple of days, and it's already happening, that we are not gonna be able to hear the truth of what's going on in Afghanistan. It's been and honestly, for the last week, each day I'm waking up to horrible messages from friends and family, either trying to escape or their wives have been beaten up by the Taliban, and people just simply are asking for help. And the way that I am following the Taliban's media, they're portraying that no, it's safe in here, and everybody should come back. So there is a two-way narrative coming out of Afghanistan now. One for the people who are actually being harassed and they keep on speaking up, and the other is these journalists who are cooperating with the Taliban and stating that yes, Afghanistan is safe. So this is definitely a dangerous point for the freedom of speech, for the voices of Afghan people. My message for the people who are in Afghanistan is to stay strong, and stay safe, and take the precautions that they can. For instance, deleting photos, text that shows that they are affiliated with any foreign agency or organization, and just stay strong. And whenever possible, I want them to speak up, to let the world know of how Taliban are treating them and what's happening in Afghanistan, because it will be the people who are going to be the only narrators of the truth in Afghanistan after this. And stay safe.